What is going on, guys? Dan here from ThinkTech, and we are here with another review. And this review is about the Amcrest IP camera, which I'm super excited about because my parents have been asking for a camera for a while for the outside, and I finally got one for them. And we're gonna jump into this, and we're gonna speak about it as we go. This is gonna be a little bit longer because we're gonna do the unboxing. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna talk about the specs. We're going to do the installation, and finally I'm going to bring you to the apps and how this all works on the app. So, first off, this is how it shipped to me in this one box. I thought it was going to be shipped in another box, but exactly how it shipped. So, let's jump into the unboxing here. This is the Amcrest 5 megapixel Ultra HD outdoor security camera. Let's give this box a good old opening. Cue the special effects where lights come up and you see a nice little shine. So I did open it because I thought originally it was going to be a box inside of a box, like how usually packages are shipped. Oh, and also our special guest today is Thanos. So quick guide. This is so you can do the proper placement with the screws and whatnot for the outside. Just peel it off, put it up, so you at least know where they're going. Looks to be the bracket, which will be drilled up into wherever you put it. Screws and a waterproof cap, it looks like. So I guess this is a Ethernet waterproof cap. Oh yeah. Alright, move that to the side. Alright, so here it is. The camera. We'll just do a quick little unwrap. So here it is. This is the camera. Beautiful. Looks beautiful. It is actually super light, which is really nice. Okay, movable head. Readjust where you want it. And the power cords. So I guess first what we're going to talk about, as I already said, this is a 5 megapixel Ultra HD recording. Also, it takes pictures. So this is a 2592 by 1944, which is pretty good quality, especially for the price of the camera. I can't complain about that. And this also has night vision up to 98 feet, which is a really good length. And this is an ultra dynamic range up to 120 dp. So I haven't actually seen what it looks like in the dark yet, obviously, but I will show some screenshots of that just so you can see the clarity of that. And the lens type is a 2.88 fixed. And it also does have a one-way microphone right here, as you can probably see right there. One-way microphone, so you can hear the people, but the people obviously won't hear you. So the video compression rate of this camera is H265 and H264. And this will also be 5 megapixel 20 frames per second. And as we jump back into this, these are both of the power options. So you got this here, which is obviously the RJ45 Ethernet connection, which could be the power source. And you got this here, which is the DC power 12 volt connector, which you can also power through this. So you do not need both, you just need one or the other. Okay, you should be able to power it through the Ethernet's RJ45 connector. Okay, and of course, as far as recording goes, taking screenshots go, you can have it set up a local micro SD up to 265 megabytes, or you can set it up to a local computer. You can have it saved to an FTP, a NAS system, or Amcrest also supplies options for cloud service. And then many people are wondering, you know, how is it going to handle the environment? So this is a IP67 waterproof camera, which means if somehow this blows off wherever you put it and lands in a puddle, in a little body of water, it will handle that for a time span. I think it's probably like 30 minutes or so with the 67 IP67. It can handle environments up to, well, as low as -40, as high as 140. So it's really good. And then as I kind of broke it down, that this will also be, they also have an app so you can manage the camera, the settings of the camera, where you want to save to, all that. It has a whole bunch of features which we're going to get into at the end. So from here, I'm going to go and I'm going to install this camera today. And I'm going to bring you guys with me just to see how everything looks at the end. I'm not going to bring you for the whole installation, but this will just jump right to as it's already finished. So this is it for, at least for the specs. Now we're going to probably jump right into the app after this. Alright, guys? Alright, so we got it all set up. Everything's working correctly. Software all installed. I'm going to bring you guys into the camera, check the sound quality, look at the app, see how everything is going, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, the camera is finally set up on this wonderful windy day, and let's as you can already tell, it looks good. I mean, this doesn't look bad at all. You know, just real quick before we jump into the settings of the camera, I just want to point out that when setting up the application, when you download the app and do the initial setup, it's going to ask you to scan the serial number. The serial number isn't on the box like it says it is. It's actually on the wire, so keep that in mind. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. So everything is downloaded, everything is working. This is not the app, this is the actual web UI, because the web UI is where you're going to do a lot of the configuration. So this is what it looks like. Sorry about the garbage can. It is like a super windy day. So as pretty much it is beautiful. I mean, it's very easy to navigate through the UI and through the app. It's, you know, as you can see, you got the zoom features. You got the time and the date. You can customize the time and the date, of course, however you like it. So, you know, let's jump into some of the settings here. So first thing, you know, we're going to point out is this is the high definition mode, which I set to be, you know, the highest it can be. And then you have the substream, which is on the top left here, which is a lower resolution. That, you know, it's easier on bandwidth and whatnot. And I actually have the substream to do the recording, so it uses less space. So let's jump back into the mainstream. All right, so basically, there's a few options with storage, because I know that's everybody's main concern. Where does it save? How does it save? So let's jump into that real quick. On the top right, you're going to click on Setup. It's going to bring us right down to the UI, to the configuration. So on the side here, you're going to see Storage and Destination. So there's a few different places that we can actually store everything. So you got the SD card, which we talked about, you know, has a very limitation on it, and it's a micro SD. I think it's like 256, as I said before. And then you have the FTP, which is actually how I have it set up now. You know, I created a server in my house, and I have everything going to that. And of course, you can also use an NAS server. And the same thing with snapshots, you can have all that, which I have everything set up for my FTP. Super simple setup. Basically, right here, we're going to click on the FTP on the top, and, you know, I have it enabled. I do want to put on the emergency SD card, but I have to get an SD card for it. So that's going to be coming in the mail. Basically, that means if your FTP server connection actually drops, it will start storing on the SD card, which is a really great. And as you can see, I have it set up. It is a very simple setup with the FTP. And if you guys are having problems, let me know. I would love to do a video for you guys on how to set that up, because it's actually a lot easier. You know, it doesn't really require any port forwarding, because everything is in network. If you're doing it local, of course. So it is very simple. And then you got the NAS set up. you know, if you have an NAS server and an SD card. I don't have an SD card, but you know, you get the gist of it. So basically, you set up your storage, and from there, you can do customizations like what time do you want it to record, what time, you know, do you want the snapshots, is there a holiday schedule? You know, you can just click on here and you can set all this up. Right now, I have all my stuff recording by motion, so I'll get into that. I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, right here, motion. I have I have all my stuff set up with motion detection, which is right here. I have it enabled. You know, all this. The one good thing is I have it at all times running 24 hours detection. And one of my favorite things about this is the detection area, because I don't want my camera to pick up the cars. You know, as you can see, I have a car spot right here, all on the top here. I didn't want that. You know, I don't want it to pick up and record every single time. That's just a waste of space. I only want to capture it from the, you know, sidewalk to my door. So it's really cool. I'm gonna show you guys real quick the detection area. Just click setup at the bottom. It's gonna load right here, detection area. So I have it right here. This is how it looks. You know, I completely wiped out the street, and I raised the sensitivity level a little bit as well. You know, the one thing is there wasn't really much instructions on this, so you know, trying to learn everything myself here. So hopefully I did the right way. I hope so. I mean, it only makes sense to blur out what you don't want. So hopefully that's set up right. I just did this a little while ago, so we're gonna wait and see if we get some records on that. So that's really cool. I really like that setup. And video tampering, I have that turned off. And then this is audio detection. I turned this off because of the fact that, you know, it does get loud around where I am. You know, I'm next to a school, so it gets really loud. And I, you know, have all these people walking up and down the street. It's going to be recording like crazy. So right now I have that off until I can figure out a good spot, a good sensitivity, a good threshold to put that on. And then the anomalies, which I don't have anything set up for any of this yet. I mean, you guys can run, you know, go through this, run it down. And then, of course, I'm not going into all this network stuff, but, you know, you get the gist of what's here. You know, if you guys don't know what the SMTP is, this is so you can get email alerts and you can set up that SMTP server. And then, of course, as I was talking about main and substream, this is where you would do all that configuration. So you can, let's see, video, oh, that's audio, video. Okay, so mainstream, I have it on high rates, high everything. And then I have my substream much lower. So, you know, the recording is less, you know, not much room. You know, I think about it records about 2 to 3 minutes sometimes, and it's about like 30-40 megabytes, which is not really bad at all. So I'm happy with that. When I was doing on mainstream, it was around almost a gig, a little bit under a gig. So I found my sweet spot. This is how I like my settings. It works for me. And then your configuration here is where you can play around with some of this stuff. So, you know, you have the day profile, and then you also have a night profile. And I gotta say, the default settings for where I am are pretty much on point. I don't have to change anything, because even during the nighttime, it looks good. I can still see everything crystal clear. So I haven't changed anything, but you can change your brightness, your contrast, your sharpness, the gamma, everything. It's absolutely beautiful. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the web UI. Let's jump into the actual app real quick, and we'll we'll get to see a little bit of how that is and how that looks. All right. Okay, here we are on the media app, and this is what it looks like. It is a very simple app. You know, you still got the normal features, zoom, you can move around, you can check everything out. You know, you could tell, holy crap, it is actually a windy day out there. It's knocking down all my goddamn garbage cans. I gotta go pick them up again. And you can, the good thing is, you know, this does support audio, like I said. And if you click on the bottom left little speaker, yeah, we're just gonna mute that because that was actually loud. The wind is bananas, and that's one of the reasons why I took off the sound recording. You know, the auto recording on high sounds, because it's a little crazy. You know, there's not too much you can do with this camera just because it is one of the lower ends, but it's still good. So there's some features you won't be able to use because this camera doesn't support it, but for the price, it is a good camera. For the price, it's definitely a good camera. And let's check out some of the some of the customizations that you can do from the app. Of course, you can record from the app, and it will save directly to your phone. Of course, you can take snapshots from your phone, from the app, and it will also save. So if I click on record, oh, sorry, that wasn't recorded. That was actually a screenshot, as you heard. So if you actually click on record, it's going to record. You see it on the top left. Can't zoom in on that, obviously, but you can see that. And then once you take it away, boom, it's not recording anymore. And it will appear in your saved files. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So, yeah. So let's run down some of these features that we have, and we'll go from there, all right? So basically, we have, you know, the playback right there. We can just jump into there and take a look. And the playback is basically, if you hit the, you know, the plus sign, it will bring up the recording types, the outside camera, your devices, and basically, I don't have any recordings, apparently. I got the camera map, I'm not 100% sure. You got your favorites, which I'm pretty sure is just your favorite cameras within a certain groups and stuff. Like if you have like 3 cameras in the backyard, or you got 3 cameras upstairs, it'll be, you know, cameras from backyard in group 1, cameras on the 2nd floor in group 2. You get the gist of that. And then, of course, you got the push notifications. And the push notifications are just how you want to get, you know, if we enable, let's enable, I'll just show you. So basically, if something does record, it's going to tell you. So if we enable these and eventually it does record, it's gonna send you a notification. So it's going to say, uh-oh, we suspect something, we're recording. And that's what that is. Save, boom. Okay. And thought we had it enabled. Okay, and then the event list, don't have anything because it was off the whole time. So everything that, you know, we enabled during that push notification will end up in that event list. All right, let's check. And then, of course, the configurator center. This is where, you know, this is how it's going to record, as we talked about before, the motion detection. You know, how sensitive do we want it? You know, do we want to push enable? Do we want to record? Do we want it to also take a picture? This will everything be here. Everything is synced. So if you change something on the app, of course, it's going to go through the web UI as well. Just keep that in mind. You change anything on the phone, it's going to take effect throughout the camera, period. Okay? So that is that. I don't know what I just saved. So basically, you have all those triggers, all those recording options right there. You know, you got your modified device password, where you can change your account. Yes, you can make multiple accounts. So if you have multiple people logging into that camera, and you are the administrator of that camera, you can, of course, make additional accounts. And now one thing I do want to say is, when in these IP settings, make it a static IP. Very important to make this a static IP. We do not want it a dynamic because a static will keep that IP. And if you have it on dynamic, it's going to change every time camera powers off, as it says right underneath. So it's very important you keep it a static. It makes things a lot easier for you. Oh, look at this. We got a notification that there was detection outside. So we clicked on it. It brings us back. Obviously, it's not there because they're probably just walking past the house. Let's see if it actually recorded anything. That'll be... Let's see if it recorded. Just gonna check that recordings real quick, and that'll be pretty interesting. Oops, sorry, went to the wrong thing. Let's save files, and it doesn't look like it actually recorded anything, but I do know that it was recorded on my FTP server because that's how I have it set up. So basically, that is the gist. I mean, if this also supports cloud as well, so you know, if you don't want to create an FTP server or you don't want an SD card, they do supply a cloud server for recording, which I think is like $9 or $10 for 24-hour recording, which will save, I think it will save up to 7 days if I'm not mistaken, and then the packages will increase from there. So yes, this is it. This is the camera, guys, and you know, my impressions of it, it was actually super easy to install, so that's a plus. Great customizations that you could do, and I am definitely not disappointed with this at all. And you know, this is one of the first cameras I actually bought for the outside. I mean, I have cameras on the inside, but I've never used this name brand. I never bought any cameras for the outside, and I'm extremely happy about it, and I'm not disappointed, and that's what matters. So, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by, watching the video. It means a lot. And, of course, like I said before, if you guys need help setting up an FTP, I will do a step-by-step tutorial for you guys to make it as easy and simple as possible. All right? You're happy? I'm happy, all right? So, guys, thanks again for watching the video. I'm Dan from ThinkTech. Don't forget to follow, hit that notification, blah, 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 blah. And, guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.